Morning, y'all. Last week I had somebody ask about the lawsuit against Cloud Imperium, and asked me to talk about that. And I have my own point of view on the subject matter. Sorry, I've been bundled up all fucking night long because it has been a windy ass 38 degrees. 38 degrees out in the sun, not so bad. 38 degrees in the middle of the goddamn night with the wind trying to tear squarely through you is hell incarnate. Well, that is, if hell froze over. So anyways, back in the old days, before there were video games, there were tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons and things of that ilk. And many a board game. And corporations were starting to become a real thing, and not everybody had time for board games, but there was a want for a methodology to solitaire some board games, and there were a few computer programmers and computer engineers who are absolute geniuses who were like, well, if that's the case, why don't we make some goddamn video games, especially considering the fact that PCs, it wasn't PCs back then, it was Mac. Mac was seriously becoming a thing. Like, oh my god, a thing. Microsoft didn't really exist yet. It was getting there, but it didn't really exist yet. At least, not in a form that would be easily recognizable, and I'm not even sure about that. I got to witness some of this stuff, because I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I was born in 77, just in case any of y'all are curious. I was born in 77. By the time I was 4 years old, it was 1980. At least I think that's how that works. So anyways, you have to understand, it is 6:39 in the morning, and I am just now on my way home. I started my shift at 10:20 p.m., and I am so tired that I am legitimately afraid for my life. So, bear with me. I'm not multitasking. I'm just talking to keep me awake, and you're getting the benefit from the shenanigans that occur from tired Ben trying to talk. So anyways, only a handful of computer games existed. Consoles didn't exist. Cell phones didn't exist. We're talking back in the Ma Bell days, whenever Mac came out with their first iteration of a home computer. Okay, there were a handful of computer programmers and computer engineers who came up with these PC versions of tabletop games. It wasn't until, I'm thinking, the Mac 3 that there was Ultima. I'm not too sure about that. It's been a while since I walked that particular lane of memory lane. I can remember my dad playing. No, it was Ultima 6 he was playing when we were living in Germany. Ultima 6 in a space game where you had this thing that you had to turn around and decode stuff and actually do navigation coordinates and shit like that to get anywhere. And those people were the pioneers of the video game industry. And everybody and their mother gave them hell. It's the reason why you get games today like Reversi, whenever its proper name is Othello. Because Othello, being the copyrighted name, is the reason why you don't have Othello in a handheld version. I.e. your phone. Because the name is copyrighted. So as opposed to getting Othello, you get Reversi, which is a bullshit fucking name, because it is... Othello is not about reversing the roles. Othello is about surrounding or dividing your enemy. Othello was a real man. He came up with the board game to train his soldiers how to divide and conquer. Let's stop at this red light. Yay! Okay, so it's the reason why a lot of the games out there that we know and love from PC that are obviously, like, and I'm just giving a rough example because I don't actually know if there is this out there. If somebody came up with a PC version of Pinochle, okay, and back then, whenever these enterprising people came out with stuff, he couldn't call it Pinochle because Pinochle is a copyrighted term. So he would have to call it Knuckle P or some bullshit like that. Okay? Because it has to be 30% different not to be copyrighted materials, i.e. in a court of law. So, what this is all about, with the people responsible for CryEngine attempting to sue, which is horse manure, attempting to sue Cloud Imperium, is because Chris Roberts is doing some shit that nobody has ever done in the history of game development in the digital format, save for the founding fathers of the digital implement, okay, of the digital game, okay, and the reason why I say this is because if you wanted to make a video game today and you had an idea in your head, you would either have to do it on your own and somehow or another come up with millions of dollars and produce a game that's capable of producing billions of dollars, if not millions of dollars, and scare the industry, or you have to go to a sponsor, and that sponsor funds you and guides you into creating a game. Now, why do I say guides you? Because the problem with a sponsor of any like, type, shape, or variety is they are in charge of you. Okay? You're not in charge of yourself. It is no longer your project. And if they decide to take it out of your hands, they have the right to do so. They have the right to say no. Now, the whole reason why I love Star Citizen, and I know I act like a dingus in Star Citizen, okay, trust me, I do it out of a want and an attempt to make people laugh. That's the reason why I came up with Operation Tater Tot, because in 2.6, it doesn't fucking matter. Get off your goddamn high horse. It is the reason why I came up with Operation Fruit Salad, which you haven't yet experienced. Okay? Here's the entire reason why I do the shit that I do. Is out of a want to make people laugh. Okay? Ugh, this shit. So this is what's happening. Not since the founding creators of the video game has anybody ever gone out on their own and created something brand new that has nothing to do with any main title sponsor. I mean, we're talking about Origin, which failed. We're talking about a half a dozen different sponsor-ass motherfuckers out there. Be it Microsoft, be it Macintosh, be it Sega, be it name a company that produces video games. Fill in the blank. Okay? Those are the sponsors I'm referencing to. These are the people who are responsible for making the games that you play. Okay? These guys have shaped every game that you've touched. They've built the industry. They've shaped the industry into what it is. Now let's think about what it is. It is a double-crossing, underhanded, backstabbing, motherfucking shit show. That's the state of game development today. I could go on and on with the list of failure MMORPGs out there. Accounted amidst them would be Star Wars The Old Republic, where you don't get to be your own fully customized character as in City of Heroes, which I would consider a success. You don't get to make your own lightsaber. You don't get to be responsible for anything, and your story is not your story. Your story is everybody's story, which is basically the WoW format. Okay? Since World of Warcraft came out, there really hasn't been a decent MMORPG, and that is a debate that will rage on for eternity. Okay? Think about genre. That word. You know what that word means? That word means that there is a list of formulaic ass fucking video games. Think about every failure video game that you came across. Every failure video game that you've ever come across that you personally thought was a failure was because somebody tried to create something new and decided to go through a sponsor company. And that sponsor company decided to shit on it in a manner for which I could only refer to as, well, shit. It's a goddamn shit show. If I had been Chris Roberts, I would have done the same fucking thing. I want to create my shit away from this shit show. I want to create something that is brand new. So at first, what did he do? He turned to CryEngine to start that process. And they had to make some corrections to CryEngine. The people responsible for CryEngine's claim is that because of the changes that Chris Roberts and Cloud Imperium made, because of that they are due all of those updates, all of those upgrades, and some of the model pieces that were created. Okay, and what the implication is if they do this, that makes bits and pieces of Star Citizen public domain. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, these dudes, they don't got a leg to stand on. It is a shit show way of doing things. Oh, you want to create something on your own. Oh, it's gathering more popularity than any game that we have come up with yet to date. And there right now really isn't that much content. This is pulling down millions of dollars. We're going to get involved. We're going to get involved. And you're going to pay us what we's due, Chris Roberts. He ain't got a fucking leg to stand on. It is a bullshit shit show act. Okay? You worried about it? There's nothing to worry about. Okay? This, more than likely, it's going to get settled out of court to a monetary value. Because intellectual property is still intellectual property. Okay? And we have not passed the 20-year mark on that. This shit is brand fucking new. Okay? So there is no worry for this. Okay, it will fall under the First Amendment. That's how intellectual property falls. It falls under the First Amendment. And it will not be able to be messed with. Okay? It will fall under Star Citizen. Star Citizen is Chris Roberts' intellectual property. It's not gonna get meddled with. Okay? See, in our country, we have things that allow us to challenge the shit show. And this is the thing. This is the thing right here by itself. I challenge you. I challenge you to create. You see, I spent 20 years of my life creating. I did. I dedicated 20 years of my life to my own tabletop role-playing game. And I am terrified to put it to paper. I am terrified to publish it because I am afraid that the shit show that is Wizards of the Coast and organized, get on, go, bye! Fuckers, I'm gonna be as slow as possible on this turn. I'm going to come to a full and complete stop on this turn. This is the same shitty shit, okay, that every game development company is doing. I challenge you. I challenge you to attempt to create something on your own. There was these guys out there who were trying to create these hex tiles that you could use to generate any sort of a landscape that you want. And they were riddled with lawsuits. They were riddled with lawsuits. People would not leave them the fuck alone. You can't call it this, you can't call it that, you can't call it the other thing. Why? Because we're going to use those names. And these fucking corporations do these sneaky bullshit things, and they nabbed every title these guys came up with. And all they were trying to do was provide a gaming medium to people who play miniatures. That's all. A landscape medium. It was the most ridiculous shit show bullshit I'd ever seen in my goddamn life. When you create without sponsorship, the sponsors come after you. That's what happens. Back when D&D was under the control of TSR, creativity was the name of the game, baby. Seriously, you could... There were even forms for this. If you had an idea of a way to help D&D better, then there was a form for it. You could send it in, and D&D would pay you for it and gladly thank you for it and inspire you to continue to create for it. That's how some people got their fucking jobs. back whenever I was in high school, Wizards of the Coast was the fucking devil. Because Wizards of the Coast was trying to buy up every goddamn fucking thing. Everything. Okay, I'm home. Look, don't be concerned about this lawsuit nonsense. That's exactly what it is. It's nonsense. It don't matter a goddamn. Let it go. Let it go. Don't hold it back anymore. Look, remember 3 things. Number 1, I love and accept all y'all motherfuckers. I don't give a shit. Number 2, remember the golden rule. If the rules don't make fucking sense, change them. Okay? Or get rid of them. Okay? If the rules do not make sense or in any way inhibit gameplay, ditch them bitches or rewrite them yourself. Number 3, don't forget to have fun. That's what life is about. It's about joy. And it's about peace in your heart. And it's about recognizing that the regrets that you have in your life are opportunities to learn from your mistakes. Okay? I love you all. Have fun. Remember the golden rule. Remember that I love you. See how fucking tired I am? I am a goofy motherfucker. Just don't sweat this shit. The court will be like, if you want reparations, you can have $1 million. Have a nice day, motherfucker. Get out of my court. It's not gonna be a big deal. God, I'm gonna order a lot of quarters to the swear jar the second the wife sees this. I came up with the fucking idea. Oh, there's another one. Anyways, later, guys. Stop.